Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Good evening to all. You are once again welcome here on this very beloved platform, the platform for awakening consciousness. So sorry for the delay in today's conferences. Because I was at a press conference, you must have noticed. So our political party was at a press conference for developing the main pillars of our societal project. So, since we are an emerging party, and when you are new, you need to disseminate the content of your societal project, especially the main pillars, to gain the support of the masses, the support of our fellow citizens. And take the opportunity to announce my candidacy for the upcoming presidential elections. Now, the headline of international news: the British are congratulating themselves on what they did to Russia. The British are very pleased with what happened on March 20th, 2025. On March 20th, 2025, we held a video conference here during which we lamented a massive attack on a Russian airfield while a ceasefire was in place. The ceasefire agreement was reached. Ukraine continued to bomb Russia with air raids targeting energy infrastructure. Yet this is what the agreement prohibits. And we saw that Ukraine bombed the airfield, as well as a gas depot, an oil depot that was hit by a drone. And finally, it is the British who come out with an analysis. It's the British intelligence service that releases an analysis to commend what they have done, in a way, if we can put it like that. All things that attempt to complicate the negotiations. It should also be noted that negotiations are ongoing in Riyadh between the Russian delegation and the American delegation. We will have to talk about this in the next video conference. So before continuing, I ask you to share this video conference. Share it as much as possible. Give it a lot of likes. Share the video conference as much as possible. So, the services, according to official information, the British intelligence services, have assessed that the attack by Ukrainian defense forces on the Russian base Angel 2 against the airfield known as Angel 2 on March 20th was the most successful strike on Russian territory this year. So it is the most successful strike on Russian territory this year. They continued their analysis, but we will stop here for now. We will talk about it. Why it might not be the most successful attack. From the moment when Russia, we don't know, naively, let its guard down. But Russia too, we can't tell you that you are. We can't say that. There you go. We call a ceasefire. And you lower your guard, like that. But it's because Russia had laid down like a squid, not trying to monitor. And that's why they succeeded, it must be said, in blatant violation of the initial agreement that had already been reached. They congratulate themselves. It's the best strike. And they continue. Share this video conference with me, please. They continue. What are they saying? We'll see. So, it's the British intelligence services speaking. According to the report, it is almost certain that the affected area contained a significant stockpile of aviation munitions used in attacks against Ukraine. So, they are pleased because there were military aviation munitions there that allowed the Russians to carry out attacks on Ukrainian territory. The Americans provided the coordinates, and after providing the coordinates, they still knew there were significant munitions. There are fighter jets there. So, they sent missiles, drones, and it was indeed a success, it must be said. Despite it being a success, Vladimir Putin has always refused to lift the restriction on strikes against Ukrainian energy infrastructures. He tells him that the ceasefire is still in effect because he is the one with the good heart. He wants to always show that he is good in front of, obviously, the Westerners, especially the American partners. However, in this life, they say, the more you try to show that you are good, the more they take you for a fool. It's obvious. Give a lot of likes and share this video conference, please. So, the analysis by British intelligence services suggests that the significant losses suffered at the Angels 2 airfield are likely to disrupt in the short term Russia's ability to conduct airstrikes from this location. That was their intention, to reduce Russia's ability to carry out strikes from long range from this airfield, which means that according to the British services analysis, this airfield will no longer be operational, at least for a short time. In the very near future, the airfield will no longer be operational. This is their objective. This is what these people are congratulating themselves about. But we ask ourselves, the question is, do these people really want us to move towards peace? Here is proof that, while Donald Trump is preparing for peace, they are preparing for war. And when Donald Trump says it, J.D. Vance, the American vice president, says it, the Europeans criticize him for this or that, and many others criticize him for this or that. In reality, the conflict needs to continue. As long as the conflict continues, Europe will continue to live happily. The same thing these people do for Africa is the same thing they do for Ukraine. They need to feed off the various conflicts of war. Otherwise, who can understand that everyone is there saying that this conflict in Ukraine must end? It must end. But deep down, Europe does not want the conflict to end. The British themselves are very happy. And we understand why the British are happy. Isn't it the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, who is one of his friends, rising with Emmanuel Macron like two war generals to say they are ready to continue supporting Ukraine? The conflict must continue. Ukraine must have a position of strength. Despite Donald Trump and others, and Vladimir Putin have said that the delivery of weapons should be avoided, rearming Ukraine should be avoided. They all came out. Macron, more precisely, what did he say? It is not up to Putin nor Donald Trump to forbid arming Ukraine. Ukraine is sovereign. However, it is one of Russia's conditions. While we are trying to arrange things, others are there trying to ruin everything. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here is what is being said by the British. Thank you all for your contribution through your likes, your shares, to the realization of this video conference that I humbly ask you to share as much as possible. Share in all possible groups. There you go. I will get back to you shortly with new updates. Don't forget to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and permanently activate the notification bell.